What up, YouTube? We are back. Welcome to another video. I've been trying to keep it mixed up on my channel, a solid mix between full trade recordings and streams, detailed shorter trade reviews, longer raw and authentic psychology talks. And in today's video, I'd like to give you that detailed explanation on how I was able to make just under $5,000 in under an hour trading the NASDAQ futures and tell you all of the details of how I was able to make that trade happen, right? So first, coming into the day, taking a look at what was occurring on the QQQ and NQ overnight, the market had actually tried to go lower, seemingly on US government shutdown news. But by the time the market had opened, we were opening actually at the lower end of the range that we've been trading in for the last several days. So we were opening up at a support area, and this became very clear to me once I started to examine the NQ and the levels that were in play. Right now, I posted all of these levels inside the Discord every morning. If you're trading the NASDAQ or the ES for free, I post the levels that I'm watching inside our free Discord. And so today, the levels that were really in play were these four, right? On the upper and bottom ends, we have this 568s and this 958s. I didn't think that those would necessarily come into play today, but overall, they were there. They existed. Right? However, the main levels that I thought were going to come into play today were this 748 and above that, this 861, right? And my thought process was if I could catch a trade from one level to the next level, that could potentially be a very good reward if I can find the right entry that allows me good risk to capture that move, right? Now, the first entry of the day, I didn't necessarily expect to take. We have a quick push down into the level. And as we started to hold that level, the thought process of mine became, okay, can I find a stop that will still allow me really good R into this upper level? And it wasn't great, but it was enough that I was willing to take an early first trade on the day. I wanted to get filled as soon as we got back over the opening print here at 781. Unfortunately, I have 763. Unfortunately, I got filled at 781, which was a bit more slippage than I wanted, but the trade started to work very quickly. And as it started to work, I realized that this move was happening really quick, and it wasn't a trade I necessarily expected to take. So because of that, I was a little bit more prone to just exiting it and waiting for a re-entry, which today just happened to be a very good decision. It won't always be a good decision, but today it happened to be, because I exited my one contract here, made just over $1,000. And then the market decided to pull back. And fortunately for me, it decided to pull back into the exact level that I was watching. Now, normally I like to take my entries with the trend. However, I'm okay taking an entry on a failure to go lower or failure to go higher, especially if it's at a level. So knowing that we were at a level down here, once this bar flipped and pivoted and started to set that failure to go lower, then the 1 minute time frame, once we got a trigger, is where I got my fill, and I entered at 752, right? Now, this trade started to work in our favor pretty quickly. And what I didn't consider, I knew coming into the day that we had news at 9:45 and 10, but once I was in the trade, my brain kind of forgot about the news, which is how I like to approach news trading. If I'm in a trade well before the news comes out, 5, 10, 20 minutes, I'm okay holding it through because that's just a normal trade. For me, I don't like entering a trade like 1 minute before the news comes in, because then that feels less calculated. But I was already in. Was already happy with my risk. I had accepted the risk of entering here. And once the market had the news come out, we pushed back down in the level and again actually got a 1 minute trigger on a potential higher low here. And so this was actually a higher quality entry than the first one, right? Like I got more confirmation from this action happening, which allowed me to increase my risk a little bit. I added a second contract, and basically the idea is that with a stop under these lows, if I were to have lost this trade after the add-in, I would have lost about $2,000 on that trade. I made $1,000 on the first one, basically meaning my R was about $1,000 on the day total in an attempt to make about $4,000 to $5,000. I liked that math. So I took an entry here with the target up in this level. And here's where we get into the point of the video where it's potentially the only thing I would maybe change about my trading day today. Ultimately, my target was the high of day / the level, right? So you might be thinking, Jake, as soon as we get to the level, you should immediately take profit. And you're not necessarily wrong, but one of my strengths as a winner or as a trader is holding my winners. I'm really good at holding my winners properly, holding them to allow them to work and really make the moves that I think that they can make. And not even a 2-minute time frame gave us an indication to sell here, right? Like if we tapped the level and immediately sold, then I'd be more prone to potentially exiting. But we got through the level very cleanly and really didn't show signs of rejecting it. And so for me, the risk of holding this trade for a little bit more really wouldn't have been all that much because we showed no signs of rejection, right? At that point in time, when I probably would have exited my trade is right here. Once we triggered a pullback by breaking under the previous bar's low after extending to the upside above the level, I probably would have exited there thinking I don't want to give back a lot from dynamic R, right? In case we fail the level. But even exiting there instead of where I did would have caught me an extra 25, 30 points on the NASDAQ, which on two, that's not the end of the world, but it's a place I could have improved on because 2 contracts on the NASDAQ, 30 points is $1,200. That's not a small extra when you're considering that overall I made 4,800. That would have been a nice boost, right? But at the end of the day, I am happy with the trades that I was executed. Of course, these were live streamed within the Discord. All of the trades, pretty much every trade I take nowadays, friggin' live streamed. And this was really great action. So really, really great action. I'm a happy camper. The last 2 days, when you factor in the GC trades and the NQ trades, it's just been a very quality couple of trading days. So for me, the focus now will be to keep it safe going into the end of the week. I withdrew all of my GC profits from yesterday. I might withdraw all of these NQ profits from today and just keep trading with a smaller size starting balance. My starting balance on this account today was $5,000. Right, so I was essentially able to double that, which again is not. I'm not preaching that as like, oh, look at how great this risk management was. No, my risk management style is always, as it has been for years, keeping smaller amounts of money in my account. That way, not a lot of it is at risk. And I'm going to continue that tomorrow probably. I'll probably withdraw everything I made today. And I don't think I need more than 5, 7, 10 grand to start the day tomorrow. So we'll see how everything shakes out. But overall, a very, very happy trade for me. Very, very good execution. I mean, you can see the orders in the fills. I mean, it's pretty awesome trade execution, right? So with that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of the day. I love you very, very much. And I will see you in the next video, which will be the giveaway update video, which has been meaning to come out, but it just keeps getting pushed back because I keep making more videos, which is a good thing, but kind of a bad thing. So I love you all very much. Have a great day. Talk soon.